So I have worked with a few standardbred horses before. Most of them that I've worked with have had pretty good minds, and I hear nothing but good things about the breed.
No, I've never worked with a standardbred before. Actually, I've never even seen one being ridden in person. So what I know of them is just simply what I hear through the horsey grapevine, which is simply that it's difficult to get them to canter because the trot is, or pace, is a more comfortable natural gait for them. Perhaps this is because of their racing background. The other thing I've heard is that they're unintelligent horses and not necessarily difficult to train, but they're just simply, they don't catch on to things as quickly as others. Okay, you can stop it.
I have worked with standardbreds in the past. I know they're very hardworking, trusting, willing, intelligent. This is going to be a very fun opportunity for me to work with another one, because the last one that I worked with, we had her coming along really well and she had to be put down because she got her leg caught in a fence and it was really bad. So I'm excited to see him shine. He has a lovely movement and yeah, he's just got to come out of his shell a little bit.
I've worked with 3 before in the past, and this is definitely one of the best ones.
The first couple training sessions I've had with him are going extremely well. I'm learning a lot about him. He's afraid of moving tractors, running dogs, anything above him on the mounting block or on a fence. He shies away and backs up and kind of has a spook. So we're working him through that kind of stuff, getting him desensitized. Did a little bit of round pen work to see his movement and get a feel for him. He's doing extremely well.
She was really good. I lunged her around, I got her trotting and got her walking around me. Then I threw a saddle on her and got on her. She walked around a bit, we got her listening to the bit, understanding how to move with it, and then we sped her up into a trot and she did excellent.
My first training session with Real Fool was a very pleasant surprise. She proved to be incredibly quiet, willing, she was not spooky, and I tested this by actually using a tarp in several ways. I dragged it on the ground in front of her, I flapped it around, and I actually ended up putting it on top of her just to kind of see what her reactions would be. She passed with flying colors, which was excellent, and I actually do think she's quite an intelligent horse because I introduced lunging to her and she was able to quite quickly catch on to the voice commands rather than using the kiss, which I believe must have been used as a cue for her to move forward. The moment you kiss with this mare is the moment that she launches herself forward. So to make the transition from that to voice commands was really impressive for me.
I wear the Western saddle on all my horses because I just like it. The bit, I'm using a snaffle in her mouth. I find it a little softer for them, and I can teach it things easier for them.
So the equipment that I'm using with Real Fool is pretty standard. I'm using a normal snaffle bridle, I'm using a close contact saddle, and as far as more noteworthy equipment is going, I am using a loose ring French link snaffle compared to a single jointed snaffle. This is because the single jointed snaffles tend to pop the horses in the top of the palate when you apply bit pressure, and I'd like to avoid that by having a double jointed bit so that the pressure isn't applied to the roof of her mouth that's causing her to lift her head. I've also used a tarp just to test out her her spookiness, I guess, for lack of a better term, to see how comfortable she is with something that's new or perhaps more frightening, and just kind of see her reaction to that. And that has proven to be really effective because I've seen that she's not very intimidated by much.
The tack and equipment that I'm using right now is a rope halter and a long lead rope. I'm desensitizing him to flags, ropes, the lariat, everything that he might be a little bit afraid of. I'm going to be working him right now because he's a little thin in an English saddle. I'm not actually sure what tack I'm going to be riding him in for the freestyle ride, but like I said, right now he's in English tack.
I'm hoping to have a walk, trot, canter queue, and looking to have her out on trail in the next little bit. And I'm also looking at getting her gaited. She's shown me that she can actually do some different movements, and I'm looking to draw them out a little bit.
What I plan to accomplish in the next 30 days is definitely getting some body control and speed control under saddle, making sure he's soft and confident in everything that I ask him to do, which I don't think will be very hard because he's coming along so well with those things already on the ground that just getting on him and teaching him to be comfortable with that, he's going to definitely excel under saddle, especially, like I said, he has beautiful movement, his trot, his canter. He'll just have to learn to balance and stretch down and enjoy himself.
Glider and I are starting to get along. We've only been together a few days now. We've got a little bit of a late start due to having to change horses, but we're getting along pretty good and she's coming along quite well. In the next 21 days or so, I think we'll be able to accomplish quite a bit. We're establishing some trust and we'll see how much further we can get. We're doing some obstacles already and starting to get over a few things, so see what the next 20 days brings.
I anticipate that I will be able to have Real Fool standing politely and quietly at the mounting block or for grooming, tacking, picking up her feet very nicely. I also anticipate that I'll get her going consistently at the walk and the trot under saddle. And I also anticipate that I'll be able to get her to canter under saddle. Perhaps not consistently or for long durations of time, but in these 30 days I will definitely have her cantering. So my thoughts on Real Fool is that she's very intelligent, despite what people have said to me about standard breds. She's been able to catch on to things really quickly. She seems to be incredibly accepting. She was an angel to load and to ship. She seems to be a bit of a sensitive soul, actually. She is very sensitive to pressure, but also she seems to want to think out things for herself. Like when I approach, or anybody approaches her, she doesn't seem to want to be touched right away. She prefers to smell you first, and then you can. It's not that she walks away or anything. She just kind of arches her neck and really seems to be like, okay, come sniff me. And I don't think that she's had handling or consistent handler over the last few years, just because she doesn't seem to be seeking that human interaction that horses that are handled regularly do. She seems to prefer to kind of do her own thing, and that's totally okay because she seems to be coming around, and she seems to be becoming more and more fond of me all the time, and I her. She's a very lovely mare.
My overall thoughts on Foreigner so far are that he's a very, very, very sweet and smart horse. He gets a little frozen in his movements sometimes, so he's learning to work with his body and get soft. He had no lateral flexion. Now he's learning to deal with pressure. He's coming out of his frozen state of mind where he's just upright and his eyes are open. He's blinking and licking and chewing a lot more. I am so excited to see where this goes for him.
And she's a very sweet girl. She has several different gaits, as I've noticed. She can walk, she trots, she does a fox trot, she does a run walk. She also paces, and we're working on a few other gaits.